Have you ever wondered how to win a hair show? Have you ever thought about competing in the show? Have you ever thought about the logistics and everything that goes into competing? Well, tonight we are going to give you all the secrets and everything behind what goes into creating a production and how to actually win right here on Shear Chat with Dr. Rashawn Broadnex, and these are the winning ladies. We'll be back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you back to yet another evening of Shear Chat right here from the Shear Chat studio of Washington, D.C. I am your host, Dr. Rashawn Broadnex, and I have the lovely ladies of the Winner Circle right here with me this evening. So if you missed it, just 2 weeks ago, Bennett Career Institute hosted its annual hair battle this year entitled the 2550 Celebration. We honored Mr. Chet Bennett with 25 years in the beauty industry as well as celebrated his 50th birthday. In conjunction with that celebration, we hosted the annual hair battle where they competed for $5,000, $2,500, and $1,000. And with me this evening are the ladies who won all of those prizes. So I would like to say welcome to you, ladies. And would you like to introduce yourself? So let's start with you, ma'am. And before we move forward, let me just say all three of these ladies were with me in season 1. So if you want to see them and know a little bit more about them, make sure that you check out those episodes, which I will mark in the box below. Okay, and so let's go on.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Clark Sullivan.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Ms. Sullivan?
Yes, I am a cosmetology licensed instructor. I own my own salon. The name of my salon is The Creations Hair Salon. It's located on 2100 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, Southeast Washington, D.C., a mother of 2.
You doing good, girl.
Exactly. Don't be nervous. These are the people you already know.
Mother of 2, and also I am married. I have a husband as well.
Yes, and let me tell you, I went to that wedding, and baby, y'all know I love a wedding, right? And y'all know I love the color red. Baby, I was in heaven when I went to that wedding. So I'll just say that I thoroughly enjoyed myself. You, ma'am.
All right. Thanks again for having me, Rashawn.
No problem.
Hi, everyone. I am Leah Lomax. I'm a native Washingtonian. I've been a licensed stylist since 2009. And the name of my business is Hair Formation by Elle. I'm located at Salon Indulge and Beauty Grooming Salon, which is located in downtown Silver Spring at 1110 Fiddler Lane, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20910. And hair care is my #1 passion.
Okay. And on to you, ma'am. Last and not least.
I am Angela Renee Walker, better known as Angela Renee. I own Morph Beauty Bar by Angela Renee in Northeast DC on Rhode Island Road inside the Phoenix Salon Suites. I'm married and I have a child. I have 4 kids, and the smallest one being 4 years old.
Okay. All right. So those were the introductions. These are the ladies of the Winner Circle, as I called them earlier, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, ladies, thank you so much for being here. We heard the introductions, and we know that you all have been here before. So let's get right into it. I want to talk about the hair battle this year. So I'll reveal it. I'll say Miss Clark, Joanne Clark, was the winner of the grand prize for the evening. Miss Angie, she won 2nd place. And Miss Leah Lomax, the first-time competitor, she hit that 3rd place strong. Go ahead, girl. Baby, I saw the mark, so I can say that everybody did an amazing job, this year. What made each one of you want to participate in the hair battle from the beginning? Like, what was the draw to it? What made you want to join?
Well, let me answer first. I was in the hair battle last year.
Okay.
And it was my first time doing it totally alone, without the help of a support team, like being a part of a hair salon that was bigger than myself. It was totally on my own, and I thought I would do everything: the hair, the makeup, the vision, putting it together, and all of that kind of stuff. And I saw that I cannot do it by myself. So I said the hair was fabulous, but the beginning was great, but it fell through because I was thinking of 90s.
Okay.
Because that was the last time I was ever in a hair show.
Right.
So I was thinking 90s, this is how they do it. And it fell through. Mr. Bennett said, I brought Whitney Houston to a Cardi B order. So I had to redeem myself.
Nothing wrong with Whitney, baby, because y'all know I love some Whitney too.
and the audience missed it. So I wanted to redeem myself. So I said I would do everything different this year. And I had a list to get a modeling team, to get dancers. And my first thought was, I want to do fire and ice.
Okay.
And then once I started thinking about it, I got stuck. And then I saw the Black Panther, the movie. And I was like, you know what?
Well, wait, don't give away too much.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Don't give away too much.
Okay.
What made you ladies want to join?
Okay, so for those out there that's listening, I've been a licensed stylist since '09. I was also trapped in a corporate setting for 14 years, but had not stepped out on faith to be a full-time stylist until last year. I got laid off my job. So I looked at that, really it was a blessing from God, because he had to close one door to open up a door. So I went to the Bennett Career Institute for the instructor license. So last year I had the opportunity to witness what goes on, to see the various performers and stylists who were competing in last year's show. So last year I knew that I wanted to compete this time around.
Okay.
So when, just with the planning, this is my first time, and remind you, I had been a home-based stylist for years. It wasn't until April being in a salon full-time now, just living out my ultimate passion. So I looked at this, God continuing to guide me. This is my purpose-driven life I'm living. He's presented me to opportunities, and I have to take advantage of them. That's the only way that people are going to know about Hair Formation by Elle.
Right.
So as far as the ultimate vision, I thought of royalty, high fashion, and innovative hair designs. I style all of my models. I hired a makeup artist at the last time, and when I tell you, it was work, work, work. But one of the things that really helped me, Shanae Blunt, she is a awesome person that I work with, and she's a salon owner at Salon Indulge. So even with her, she said, Leah, do you mind if I critique you? Or I said, absolutely not, because if anything, this is going to be something that helps me. So even when it came to my cutting, I thought my cutting was awesome, but of course with her being a Paul Mitchell graduate, she was like, do you see this line? Go, I want you, so just to accept someone who was willing to help me. And the day of the show, she came to the dressing room. She was like, you done styled everybody here, let me get you together. So just to have that support system, that really helped. And when I tell you late nights, I didn't think about having a book of all my models, look of everyone I created. Shanae was the one that said, Leah, if you're going to be successful, yes, you have your vision, but you have to be organized. So I thank God for her too. So I'm a hush, and I'll let others talk.
All right,
but that's why I competed.
What was the question again?
What made you decide to enter the battle this year?
At first I wasn't.
Okay.
And when I heard that this was going to be the last one that Mr. Bennett was doing, and then I said, you know what, why not? Because my thinking was, hold up, I got to compete, because I don't want somebody new coming in and taking that first place. That first place belonged to me. That was my thinking. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and compete. And so I did. In the beginning, I already knew where I was going, because I've done it before. And the per se, like Angela was saying, doing it by yourself, you can't.
Right.
You can't do it. There's no way. So that's when I asked two of my stylists, to join me. And if we place, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of you girls. But that's why I competed, because I didn't want a new person to walk away with that first place trophy.
Okay, so now you were the winner of.
In 2016, I won first
Okay.
place. In 2015, I won third.
Okay.
So I didn't compete 17, and you know why? Because of my big day.
Right.
So I didn't compete that.
The
that
red
year.
wetting everybody. Yes. Okay. So now moving on from that. So now we know why you ladies competed. Why you decided to throw your hat into the ring, so they say. How did you come up with your concept?
I was actually in the shower one day, and I kept a little notebook with me when I first decided that I was going to compete, because of course you get so many ideas, and by the time you're like, okay, what am I doing? You forgot that idea. So initially I was in the shower. I had got excited once I see my name up on the posters. I'm telling my good friends, I need you guys to support me. So the first thing I thought about was I wanted to do something different. I wanted to showcase royalty, class, innovative hair designs, and high fashion. So I thought about the opening being Coming to America. That's one of my favorite movies. I can watch it over and over again. So some of the people, the royal family, they were family members of mine. My dad was Jane Earls Jones. My stepmom was his wife. Mr. Rowe was was Simi, Arsenio Hall. And then who else is part of? Yeah. And my stepdad, well, he's no longer my stepdad, but that's his favorite character, like out of all the movies.
Really?
And he was like, I'm going to come and I'm going to be Prince Hakeem. So like everyone who played a role, they were very excited. But back to your initial question, that's what I was literally in the shower one day and I said, you know what? Okay, I want to do this, but how was I going to, do a transition from the opening scene to something totally different, which it didn't really match, but I wanted the opening scene to be grand. So that's how I came about with Coming to America.
Okay. And Clark, how did you come up with your concept?
How I came up with mine, I went to a show that the models did, and it was they did a Bad Boy reunion tour, and when I was there, the show was so awesome. And when I talked to them and I told them, I said, I want that because that's hot. That's back in the day. And I was like, those colors, that's how and they said, okay, because I could have said something else.
Right.
But I mean, when I went to the show, it was just, I felt like I was at a reunion tour show because it was coming. They were like this. There was no breaks or nothing. It was just like, I'm like,
So it was the energy that excited you about that particular production.
Right.
Gotcha. And so how did you come up with yours, Ann?
The same thing, Leah. I get all of my best ideas when I'm in the bathroom.
On the toilet.
Oh my
I said,
won't he do it?
I said, you know what that said? The Black Panther. That's it. I said, but you know what? I want to spin off from it. So I said, hair from Wakanda. And I wanted to give like a royal, like they were getting married, like the king and the queen of Wakanda were getting married, and that's what it. Because like Leah said, you have to be organized with your styles and everything. So I was looking for styles, and I wanted to each piece. I wanted everybody to be like, "Oh my God!" Something you have never seen before.
Right.
And every piece I had, it was something no one has ever seen. So I was very proud of myself in that. And I didn't want a whole bunch of dancing or whatever. I wanted the dances to complement the hair, and that's what I brought across.
Okay. So then I would say, now that you have your concept, how do you begin to prepare? Like you have your thoughts together, and you're saying, now what do I need to do next?
Right.
So what I did next was I knew the colors that I was working with, as far as the yellow, the red, the blue, and the green. I knew that I had to go start buying some color.
Okay.
So a lot of the hair I did color myself, and I made wigs. And it was a lot of work, But each day that I went into the shop, when I had downtime, I went into show mode. Even if I had to put her song on for a minute just to get me hyped.
Right.
And I started going. You need some help? No, I don't want y'all, because everybody can't, can I say, color.
There you go.
And I knew that, you know, once I went in the store, I knew what I was looking for.
Right.
And I knew the easiest way was for me to buy platinum hair.
Mm-hmm.
And it was boom.
Right.
So it gave me every right color, because I was like, you can do a color, say green, but if you don't do it right, you'll have those glitches in it. So I knew that with buying platinum hair, it was going to pop. And it was going to give that bright red, yellow, and blue look. And also, yes, I did order some wigs as well. They didn't say what type of hair. Hair is hair. You can take a wig and cut it and make it your own. So that's where and I got really hyped about that.
All right. So then what was your next step?
Sure. So the next step was creating a book that I can actually see. So when my models first came to the rehearsal, I was already organized. I had printouts or even drawing or notes that I had wrote specifically for every model, and as far as the outfits that I wanted for these looks. So, of course, there was a large out-of-pocket expense for, I pretty much provided attire for my models too. You know, hair, I felt like I was getting so excited, even things I need to take back or I might even hold on to, because there were a few things that I changed at the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even a few models canceled at the last minute. Then I had people come to me and say they wanted to model. So it all worked out perfectly fine. But yeah, I kept the book. So even at the second rehearsal, I was kind of sure as to what the person was already wearing, the type of makeup I wanted for each model, and their hair. So a lot of stuff I did, they were like hair pieces, even coats or hair piece. But it was a lot of work, but I enjoyed every moment of it.
I'm sure you did, and it paid off.
Yeah.
It paid off. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back in just a moment after this commercial, and we'll hear from Miss Ange on what was her next step. This is Shear Chat with Dr. Rashawn Broadnax, the lovely ladies of the Winner Circle, and we'll be back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to another evening of Shear Chat. I am your host, Dr. Rashawn Broadnax, and I have the ladies of the Winner Circle here with me. Just as we left off, we were talking about preparation for the hair battle, and we're going to go right back to Miss Angie and let her answer.
2 minutes.
The preparation for the hair battle, I had to think, I can't do it all by myself. So I called a few people, and I got a creative director, and for real, once I told her my vision, she put it to life. She got the modeling team. I was blessed to have a choreographer, and she put her input in, and our first rehearsal, they put it together just like that. I was so amazed. I got chills when I saw it. I was like, oh, but where?
That's right.
And see, that's amazing that you could just that quick see what would come together.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes it's a long process and you start to see bits and pieces, but to be able to see it from the beginning, like you said, you saw it and you said, that's it. You know, you knew in your mind what you wanted, and you said, I have it. And Angie saw it, and that was it. So from the preparation, now you have your ideas all together. Now it's time for the show.
Showtime.
What was it like backstage waiting to come upstairs to perform? So wait, let me start with Angie, because Angie performed first.
Oh.
So.
Well, I have to double back a little bit, because I'm going to start from the salon when we were preparing. All of my pieces were hair pieces, so I had previously made them. All I had to do, I did all of my prep work the night before, so all I had to do was pin each piece on everyone's head. But I started listening to my Pandora, and I turned on the Tamala Man station. And And the song came on, He Saw the Best in Me. And when I tell you, I gave God all the praise and the glory because I just felt inside that I had put forth my best effort, my best work. And I felt so proud of myself, and it wasn't nothing but God because He gave me the vision. So once I got to the venue, and all kinds of things went on at the salon. Models dropped out and all that kind of stuff. But I said, you know what? The devil trying to get in my way. I'm not going to let you do it. So the thing, once we got to the venue, I started getting butterflies. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. So once we got into our dressing room, I prayed with my models and everything. I said, we are going to give an optimal performance and leave it all on the stage. And whatever happens, happens.
And that's the best way to look at it, I think.
Yeah.
My philosophy when it comes to productions and shows, like some people stress all the way through.
Yeah.
My feeling is once I'm at the location, whatever happens, happens.
Right.
Because you can't stress yourself all the way through. You've been putting out fires all the way up to that point, but at what point do you let it go? So, I think that that's great that you shared that with your models. We have prepared. We've done the best that we could. We were prepared to give our best. And once we do it, that's going to be it.
That's it.
Right.
So I think that's like an amazing lesson for people to kind of get that at some point you do have to just put it out there and let it go.
And you know what? One more thing. Last year, I was stressed out through the whole thing. And everybody said, you so calm, you so calm. I said, what? That ain't nothing but God, because I feel like I've done my best. And let the people judge.
That's it.
That's it. And I feel like I did the best that I could do. And of course, you have your tweaks here and there.
Absolutely.
Retrospect is 2020. Right. But I put out the best work I can do, and I left it on the stage, and I placed, and I was happy with that.
Okay. So, Miss Leah, tell us about your time at the venue.
Okay, so upon the venue and the actual date of the show, I was stressing out because, of course, with timing, trying to, like she said, trying to get that downtime where business, of course, is picking up, which is great. However, still have to make time to even do those pieces. And I told myself the day of the show, I did not want to do any hair. The only hair I did was maybe a ponytail or, attaching a braid to one of the hats that I made. But for the most part, I was in that salon Friday and Saturday to midnight both days. So I even, made myself available to pick up some of my models to ensure that they would even be there, going above the sacrifice to make sure that they got there. But I can honestly tell you, Dr. Broadnex, when I got to the venue Sunday morning, I was calm.
Okay.
I wasn't stressing. Now, of course, when when Jonathan came down and said, Hair Formation by L, you guys are up. That's when all the excitement, I was like, oh my God, I feel like a celebrity. I'm about to, but all my models and people that played a part in it, they were happy. They were like, Miss Lomax, we going to get this. We're going to do it. And I say, regardless of my work, it's all about you two, how you guys possess the energy on stage. It doesn't matter what I do. Yes, that's a big portion, but I need you all to bring it. So the day of, I was calm, to be honest. It wasn't until they said, come upstairs, you'll be performing in 5 minutes. So even on the side of the curtain, like my stepmom, she had pulled me back. She said, if you could see the audience, they could see you. So like when it was time for the models to start coming on the scene after the first one, I was like, come on, next. Next.
You know what? That, I think it's just about everybody. Especially when you're not on stage, when you don't have a part in what's going on, like you're not doing anything on stage, but you're kind of like directing it. That's when all of your energy comes out, because you're trying to make sure that everything is executed as you see it in your head.
And you talking about somebody feeling drained after? Hopefully we'll have a discussion about that.
Okay, so Clark, Oh,
Yes.
baby.
First place.
So let me just tell you guys this. This is a quick little thing. So Clark was the last one to perform that evening, and we weren't sure if she was going to make it.
Mhm.
She was there, but we weren't sure if she was going to be able to perform. Another act prior to had brought in a pyrotechnic element that they were asked not to use, and it created a ball of smoke in the rear of the theater. So I'm on the side of the stage hosting, and I'm seeing people come, like the models come up the steps, and all of a sudden I start seeing this billowing smoke. Now it's white smoke, it's not dark smoke, so I wasn't scared, but I was like, ooh, what's going on? I got excited. I was like, ooh, okay. I get shiny things, smoky things. So I was like, ooh, okay, yes. I got all excited. And baby, when I tell you, when that young lady came out and she had that little smoke thing, was about to run on stage, and that Mr. Pat, I think his name is, at Howard Theater, Crampton Auditorium. Baby, I thought he was, what do you call him, a linebacker playing football the way he ran, because I was scared. Like, when I saw him move, I said, oh my God. I hope he was not going to tackle her. But you know what? We got to take a quick commercial break. So we'll be back in a minute, and I'm going to finish that story, and then we're going to let Clark. And she didn't know everything that happened. So this is probably like the first time that she's hearing the details. But we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we were back, and just before we went out, I was telling you the story. So I keep wanting to say his name is Mr. Pat. If his name is not, his name is Mr. Walton. That's what it is, but I know it's P. Walton, something like that. He came and snatched that thing and ran outside, and I went from total excitement to like, because I was scared for a minute. And then he came back, he was like, get on the mic and tell the people they have to leave.
Oh my goodness.
And that scared me, because I said, never have I been in a situation like that. And so I was like, what do you mean they have to leave? He said, the alarms are going off. They have to evacuate. And he was like, you have to go out there and say it over and over again, and don't stop until the people leave, until we're sure that the front of the house is clear. So I did that for a minute. And then when I realized, I felt like I was standing out there, was a few people left, I came back into the back room, and I was just still talking on the microphone then. But when we got outside, we went through the whole waiting game and wasn't sure. Once they cleared the building, ensured that it was no fire, we knew that it wasn't a fire. But because the smoke alarms had gone off, they had to make sure that nothing was aflame out there. So everything was pretty cool after that point. And then we got the word that people were going to be able to come back in. So that's where, Clark, you came in and stole the show. But tell us about your time waiting
In the dressing room.
in the dressing room, and then waiting outside, because you were waiting throughout that whole period.
Yeah, so when I got to Crampton Auditorium, I told my troop to be there. I told them to be there at 11:30. I didn't say 12, because you tell them exact time they run late. Right. So technically, when I got there, everybody was there, and I was good. I mean, the service was great with Jonathan. Oh, Miss Clark, this is where you'll be. And then he said, you're going to have to share with somebody. I said, share where? Where are they going to go? Right. I'm like, so, but other than that, preparing for it, I was excited. Then I was, okay, trying to figure out I had to get the red squad together, the green, the blue, the yellow, and it was fun. And some of it was like, I'm glad I had enough hair and I was prepared, because I had to do 2 of them. I had to take off and do it again.
Oh, really?
And I kind of was set, because a couple of them had braids.
Okay.
So, I had to go in mode, okay, how I'm going to create this, how I'm going to get this on here. Because they had, all these micro braids, and I had to braid it down and tuck in the best way I can, so it won't look like, a lopsided head and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I had a little attack for a minute, but I got myself together, and that was actually on the wheel piece that I did on the young lady when I was doing it. I seen it, I watched it so many times on YouTube is where I got it from, and I was like, that's easy. I could do it, which was easy. I didn't realize the pending part was what had me going through. But made it through all of that, and everything was good. And then they said, like, we next on stage, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not even dressed. So I went to go grab my skirt, the outfit that I actually wanted to wear. I couldn't wear it because I had a red patent leather skirt. Mind you, I threw other things in my suitcase. Didn't know because it was so hot. So some of the black faded on my red skirt. So I went to Tanae, and I was like, Tanae, look, what am I going to do? She's like, oh, Miss Clark, I got you here. And she gave me the red patent leather dress. I was like, my girl. So a lot of things went wrong, but we worked it out. Like one of the girls' boots, the heel came off. She was like, you got some glue? And I'm like, no. So Angelina came to, I got a glue gun. Work it out. So we worked it out, with all the little glitches. And those are things that happen when you're preparing to for a show or whatever event it is. Things never go the way we want them to go, expect for them to go. There's always something.
And how about this? How we see things from backstage and we see all of the flaws and the audience has no idea.
No idea.
And we stress ourselves out and like, oh my God, I can't believe this is going on. I can't believe this is not right. And the audience has no clue. No clue whatsoever. And so I think that's one of the amazing things about doing a show is as much as, and that's why I said earlier, at some point you have to let it go. Because really, other people don't know. We know because it's our concept, it's our idea. We have planned it out, every detail. And when we say, she was supposed to model and then step to the right and she stepped to the left. And the audience has no idea. We are ready to go off because she did not step to the right. She was supposed to step to the left. You know what I mean? But they have no idea. And so I think that's one of the biggest lessons is, like you said, at some point you have to let it go because it's about embodying the fun, your concept. You have everything down. You have all of your elements. You did what you were supposed to do. Now it's just time to put it out there and let it go.
That's it.
So I thought that was amazing. I thought you did a great job. And again, Miss Clark was the winner of the evening. So how did you feel afterwards? Because I was excited. I think of the whole, I enjoyed the whole show, but the exciting part to me was getting the numbers. And ordinarily, I don't remember a lot in situations like that. Like, I don't know who was number one and stuff. But as I saw the numbers, the names were and I was like, oh my God. I got so excited for you guys. So I knew before he announced it. And I just thought, I knew after talking to Angie, I had been talking to her the whole time. I knew what she had put into it. I knew who you were working with, so I know what that brings. I did no clue about yours, and I was excited to see yours because excited to see so many people that I never expected. Like I told Miss Taylor Johnson, I said, girl, you were in the show. She was like, no. I said, that was you. She said, no. I said, so, but it was exciting to see so many people who I had no clue that they were going to be a part of a production in it. And they did really, really
Most of the students at Bennett were my models.
Right.
And some of my clients.
So tell me, how did it make you feel when your name was called? Did you have anxiety when we said, okay, we are about to announce the winners?
Yes, I had a little anxiety, but I was anxious. But really deep down inside, I really felt that I had a place. I didn't know what my place was. And of course, everyone who competes, they want to be first.
Right.
But I said, Lord, you know how hard what I've put into this, how you done brought me from that job. I'm living my purpose-driven life. Here I am doing more things that I love to do. I'm giving my all in this. Lord, let me walk away with a place. I don't care if it was third, second, or first. I felt like this was something like we all went down in history together because this was the last hair battle. So
Absolutely.
I'm grateful just for third place, just to have a place. And when they said, when Mr. Bennett got up there and they were like, wait a minute, number 2, number 3. Remember when he first got up? Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, well, okay, I know I was number 3 or something like that. So then Mr. Bennett would say, okay, get the names instead.
And see,
So when he said
Because it didn't go in order.
right.
yeah, so when he said number 3, hair formation by L, I was like, yeah! And my mom was like, Leah! So it really felt so good. I'm very proud of myself with the accomplishments I made thus far, and I want to continue to grow in this industry and gain more exposure. So ultimately, that was my purpose, to gain more exposure and just to have the experience of competing, but also doing it in honor of Mr. Bennett, because without Mr. Bennett, if he didn't put this on or had that vision that he tells all the time, sitting at his mom's table years ago, he wanted to, be a CEO of a beauty school, none of this would have been possible. So away from our accomplishments, I want to give honor to I want to give this to Mr. Bennett and say, thank you for allowing us to even take part, to have a platform.
Exactly.
Right. So how did you feel, Ann?
I was so nervous. I looked at you and you just smiled. And I said, you know what? Now he know I'm giving him that look like, where am I? Because I felt like in my heart of hearts, I placed, but I did not know where I placed.
Right.
I said, wherever I am, God, I'm going to be satisfied with it. And when he called my name, I said, because that was not only my first award that night. I had won first place for Hair Colorist of the Year. So, and I wasn't even expecting that, because it was some tough competition with that. It was some tough
some stiff competition.
It was.
I said, you know what, and I know those ladies, and I know they could color, So I said, you know what, and Mr. Bennett just pushed me to do it. I was like, because I wasn't going to do it.
Right.
And he pushed me to do it, and I won. I screamed so hard. I said, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. But I was so happy with that I even placed at all, because last year I didn't place at all, and I felt like I should have placed. But seeing what you're supposed to give in a presentation, you have to wow the people. And each piece, that's what I said I wanted to do. I wanted to wow the people, and I was getting so even when they had the intermission, my models, we have gone on by that time, and my models were going out and greeting people, and everybody wanted to take pictures with them and stuff. I was like, all right, I felt like a celebrity.
You are. So
I was happy.
Real quick, let's get to Miss Clark, because we have to go to our last commercial break. But Miss Clark, how did you feel when your name was called?
After
everything that went on.
everything that went on, when they let us back in and we performed, and I looked at them, the models, and one of the captains looked at me and said, and I said, okay, so I'm just gonna sit here. But as Angela and Elle said, I knew that I placed, but I didn't know where. It wasn't about the money. It was about me getting a trophy. I just wanted that first place trophy, because I'm like, I want to hold that last title. So whoever want to come back and break it, knock me off the plank. So when they called my name, I was like, well, when he said, I'm gonna call numbers.
Okay.
So I knew that on the program we were number 6, but because of, I guess, the elimination or whatever, we became 5. And I was listening, but I wasn't listening. And when he said contestant number 5, I said that 5. I'm not 5, I'm 6. But then when he hollered the name, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
So yeah, and I want to piggyback on what you said about third place. I remember when I competed for my first time with Miss Rayford, and Miss Rayford had done it before I had. That was my first time ever, and we came in third place, and I felt like third place was first place because I was so honored, I was so happy, and I didn't get the trophy to take home. had the check. At that time, he was giving out checks too, the big cardboard checks. And I was like, oh Lord, I want a trophy. I want a trophy so bad. And I think the show was over, and I was walking down the hall, and one of the business students came to me. She said, Ms. Clark, you want a trophy? I said, yeah. And she gave me a trophy, so I did end up with a trophy. And I was like, God said He'll give you your heart's desire, you know. So, but yeah, but I was.
It's beautiful.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
Nervous too.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment with another evening, or as we wrap up our evening of Shear Chat. I'm your host, Dr. Rashawn Broadnax, and these are the ladies of the Winner's Circle.
And I'm taking it to LA.
Yes.
I'm going to LA.
Boy, the show was just over, and they already started. We're going to commercial break.
I'm going to LA.
That's right, girl. Follow your heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We always have so much fun here on the set. We're just talking about some other things, but now we're going to do the T in 10. And we're going to start it off with the question that Leah was talking about earlier. This was supposed to be the very last hair battle produced by Bennett Career Institute. So I have the inside of what's going on. Everyone else doesn't know. However, let's go into discussion on that. Do you think this will be the last?
Absolutely not. I feel that, you know, of course, Mr. Bennett, with him approaching 50 and he wanted to do something grand and big, he's saying, you know, this is going to be the last hair battle. But deep down inside, I know Mr. Bennett can't sit still. This is his passion. And his passion is, yes, he wants to put on a good show, but he cares about how well we soar in the industry, and he wants to provide a platform for us.
Absolutely.
So I feel that this won't be the last show, and I hope he's watching right now, because that Lomax said this is not going to be the last show.
What do you think, Laura?
To me, yeah and no. But if it is, then like I said, I'm taking
Child, all she wants is she just want to be able to say she is number one.
I'm going to LA because I think with me competing here and by Mr. Bennett, like the only one that does this every year, so it's really like, I want to go outside the box,
Right.
You know, I don't want him to, but I thank him for that, Mr. Bennett. I thank you for all the opportunities that you have given every student in Bennett Career Institute.
Yes.
Some of us soar and some of us don't. I thank him for that because it opens us up, and the way he sets and lays paths and trends for us to take what God has given him for as his vision and what he thinks. Because I don't know, he's an awesome man because he come up with so many great ideas. He knows how to get stuff done. I mean, then like you said, Mr. Broadnex, nobody knows what goes on behind the scenes when he's putting it together. And I thought about, Juwan, you want to take over that? No, ma'am. I don't, because let me tell you why. The things that he has to deal with, put up with, you gotta have a team, somebody that's dedicated, somebody's gonna help you, like you gotta get a venue. It's just a lot that comes with that.
Absolutely.
And then being a salon owner, that's a lot. So I know what I'm dealing with just being a salon owner, and I try to take on.
Yeah, you said no, ma'am.
No, but
what you think, Ann?
I think this is his last hair battle for him. But I think he is passing on the mantle and using his own venue, the school, and doing it on a smaller scale. That's what I think.
So it's a little bit of everybody's combined, and it definitely is what you said. We are stepping back from it being at these other venues. We definitely want to utilize the space that we have to do the things that we need to do because we have the space. We may not be able to do like a Crampton auditorium, but we have our own auditorium where we can, and we have always produced shows. And the exciting thing is prior to coming into the 700 Monroe space, when they were on top, when they were at, it wasn't 6-8, yeah. It was at Rhode Island Avenue. They used to have shows there in the hallway. And so, you know, it's like, use what you have. And they said we used to do shows and people would come in and they had a great time in a hallway. You know, so you can only imagine with the setup that we have at school with a little tweaking, what we could do there.
Exactly.
But I think, and also like you guys said, he definitely wants to pass it on to give other people the opportunity because that may be someone's vision, goal, platform that they want to have for themselves to be able to be a show producer. You know, first it was, or I won't say first, but for a long time it was Glenn Jackson.
Yeah.
And then Glenn kind of backed away from it. And as he was coming on the tail end of his shows, we started doing our shows again. And then it's been us for the past few years. And so now it is time for somebody else to pick up and be able to move forward. And I think there are so many people that have competed. I mean, ideally, I would say, like, the three of you could produce a show together because you all know the elements. You know what goes into creating productions. You just have to figure out how you would want your
She
show
would be the CEO.
to run.
See.
So, to me, now that's a little tidbit for those out there that they may want to think about collaboration. It doesn't have to be just one person. Like you all said, it was a team effort in order to get your production, to come together and for us to see it as it was on stage. It will take a team as well to put together that type of production.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm very excited to see who's going to pick that up
Me too.
and move forward with it.
Who knows? It may be you.
I'm gonna leave that right there.
Look, he already in the house, right with the
I'm gonna leave that right there. But what I will also say is I got so excited when names were called for the editorial picture submission competition. Like you said, yours was for colorist, and yours was
Weave Master, which was a tough category.
It was. And the funny thing for me is seeing all of these things because I put together the sheet that goes out for judging. So to see the work, I get so excited, because I'm like, oh my God, and especially as much as I know about each person, like I know Ange, I know she can color the heck out of some hair. And I see it all the time when she called me on FaceTime in the middle of the day.
Yeah, she does.
While I'm trying to work and she want to color hair.
I like FaceTime.
I said, Lord have mercy.
FaceTime.
But to see her do the color and to see what you have done, like at the photo shoot, to see all those well executed bob cuts, and not everybody can do a bob. People think that bobs are, the simplest style, but it really is not because it's so easy for that thing to go left, for it to go right when you meant for it to be blunt straight across. You know what I mean? So to me, I think I got so excited when I saw that, and again, I saw all of the competition, and like your mom says, stiff competition. Stiff competition. I myself won the male stylist of the year. That is the one that I like. And for me, it's just been a confidence booster over the years. To continue to invest in myself and continue to do things to kind of grow and try new things. So I just loved seeing everybody's name called. Unfortunately, you didn't enter, Clark.
Well, I didn't enter, but I will say that one of my stylists is Angelina Milner. Always does fantasy competition, and she never won. And this year she won, so she was excited about that. And then as Kiera Blair won National Hairstylist of the Year, so it's like 3 people from one salon got awards. So I want to tell you ladies, congratulations too as well, especially Angelina.
And that's what I was gonna mention. Let me tell you, fantasy is that's my category. I have always gotten excited off of fantasy, and I think that was the first category that I ever won. So I have that as a special place for myself.
Is that what you did at Shear?
So no. The first time I competed in fantasy was it was for Golden Scissors 2006. And or no, it might have been it was 2005 because I was still a student, and it was at Golden Scissors, and I just knew I wanted to do something creative because I am good with my hands and creating.
Yes, you are.
And so I said, I just want to do something. And my teacher at the time, Mr. Ronnie Jones, was like, oh, do it. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And that's always my thing. I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. I was like, Mr. Jones, I don't know what to do. And he said, you know what? You're just so hot and cold. He said, why don't you do the yin yang symbol? And I was like,
Okay.
And he said, I've never seen it before. So if you can create that, that'll do it. So I said, okay. And I thought about it, and I said, how can I get this thing to come? But also, my thing has always been, and like I share with people who do fantasy and they ask for my opinion, it's either, I always tell them, you have to make it larger than life, or you have to make it something so unexpected
Big.
that
So big.
it will wow the people, because that's what it's about, wowing the judges. So opposed to just creating a yin yang symbol and putting it on somebody's head and having them walk out, I used two models and made them walk back to back.
Oh.
And one had the yin and the other had the yang. And when they had their heads together, you saw it. And when they separated, you saw the symbols come apart.
Wow.
And I think that's what really put it over the top, was to see it come together and apart, and it gave you a visual of actually what it is.
Right.
And ever since then, it made me want to continue to compete. And then I went on and did the chair and some other things. And so I love that category. And it was just amazing to see Angelina win that. And like you said, she had not won it before, and she always does it.
Yeah.
But I think there's always a time and a season for everybody.
Yes.
And I think this year was the time.
Yes, it
you know. So on that note, we are going to say good night to you all. We're going to say good night.
See you in LA.
It has been amazing having you guys here. The winner circle. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for the people being on and watching as we share this evening. And so now you've got an earful of what goes into creating a production for a hair show, and we look forward to seeing who's next. Whose name is going to be on the marquee next, who's going to produce the next show. If you need a host, I'm available. No ma'am. But thanks again for joining us, and we want to wish you all a great evening. Good night.
Good night.